In today's video, the viewer conference was a hit and I'll go through my thoughts. Furthermore, Tether is finally going to go through an audit, but will they actually pass the test? Next, Uber buys Transplace for $2.25 billion. Is this really the right move? And finally, some more news coming right up. Welcome back everyone, I'm your host Edward, and on this channel I talk about stocks and crypto news, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and hit that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. So yesterday there was a really huge discussion with Cathie Wood, Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey regarding Bitcoin and kind of, giving their thoughts on it. And I kind of watched it twice and there's a lot of thoughts that I want to talk about, so I'm going to be focusing on that today. But yeah, other than that, the markets are a little quiet. But yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's dive right in. So as usual, I'm going to go through the markets, and today the stock market is a little flat, nothing too crazy going on. I believe the stock market did pump a little bit, but when the jobless claim report came out, it kind of just went back down. Now in terms of the crypto market, it is up about 2% today, and Bitcoin is hovering at about $32,000. And yesterday we did close at a really good level, so we'll see if Bitcoin's able to maintain this level for the next couple days. But the main articles that I really want to get in today are kind of regarding the viewer conference that happened yesterday. And during that conference, Elon Musk admitted that he's a pumper but he doesn't dump, and that was very funny when that happened. But yeah, throughout the whole entire interview, surprisingly, Elon Musk was pretty bullish. He didn't say anything too bad about it, and the whole Twitter community was kind of banking on him trying to pump up Bitcoin, but I think he tried his best. But rest assured, right, Elon Musk doesn't hate Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin goes down, he's actually losing money, and obviously he doesn't want Bitcoin to go down. And during that interview, he also confirmed that he holds more Bitcoin than Ethereum and Dogecoin. So at the end of the day, he's not bearish at all. So one thing that Elon Musk did mention is layer 2, which is the Lightning Network, and he's saying that that's really crucial to make Bitcoin a real currency, and I really do agree, because at the base layer, right, which is layer 1, it can't really scale to become the world's currency, especially if Bitcoin can only handle 7 transactions per second. But the base layer does set the rules, and people are gonna have to build on top of that, and that's what makes Bitcoin more secured and more scalable. And in this article, right, Elon Musk did say that he will most likely accept Bitcoin once again, and he's seeing a lot of good things being done regarding the energy consumption. And in that interview, he did point out, right, he said he has a lot of experience in renewable energy, and obviously it's not gonna take Bitcoin like a few months to transition all the way to renewable energies. It actually takes a while, right? But Elon Musk did say the reasoning behind his movements, right? He understands that he has a lot of influence, and he knows that if he says something, other people will kind of follow. And Elon Musk put a whole entire banner up, right, saying Bitcoin has to use more renewable energy, and right now we're seeing a big shift to it. And he's not doing these things to dump Bitcoin. He's trying to make it better, and that's his way of thinking. He never really wants to be the bad guy. Like, he wants to make you think for the better good, and a lot of people did not think of it that way. But yeah, he did talk about doing more due diligence. He did not expect the energy hash rate for Bitcoin to go up after they announced that they're gonna accept Bitcoin. And yeah, he also mentioned that it was kind of contradicting Tesla's mission, but at the end of the day, he wasn't bearish, right? His tone and the way he spoke about Bitcoin was actually bullish. But yeah, I was pretty happy about that. And Elon Musk also mentioned that SpaceX owns Bitcoin, and everyone on Twitter went crazy, right? Because SpaceX is a private company and no one can really see their balance sheets and etc., except for people that are already invested into SpaceX. And a lot of people didn't realize that Elon Musk holds Ethereum as well, and yesterday we saw a huge pump for Ethereum. And not only that, right, Cathie Wood said a lot of great things about Bitcoin as well, and saying how a first-based rule monetary system can pretty much disrupt the whole entire monetary system in the US, which is about $8 trillion right now. So she's saying that that's the market cap of Bitcoin, and right now we're only at 604 billion, and if one day that actually happens, then that's 100x from now. And honestly, that's not gonna happen in the next couple years, right? It's probably gonna take like couple decades for that to happen, but in my lifetime I do want to see that happen. I'm hoping that more developers comes in and try to enhance the security, the efficiency, and the scalability of Bitcoin. And Jack Dorsey also said that Bitcoin really reminds him of the early internet and how a lot of people kind of doubted it, but the growth and adoption of the internet played out, and that's what Jack Dorsey is saying about Bitcoin. And right now I believe the amount of people getting into Bitcoin right now is growing at an 80% compound compounded annual growth rate, which is pretty crazy, right? That's a lot of people. And if that continues on for the next decade, Bitcoin's price isn't gonna be what it is today. And this hit home, right? When he said, what inspires me the most about Bitcoin is the community driving it. Because Bitcoin itself can't do anything without other people kind of, developing new apps and layers on top of it. Cathie Wood said there are a lot of smart people going into Bitcoin, and they could have made way more money, going into Google, Apple, and etc. But there's a sense of purpose of trying to make Bitcoin the digital currency, because it takes out a lot of friction within our monetary system, because sending money overseas can cost you 30% of what you're already sending, right? If you're sending $100 to someone in, let's say, Europe, and the government takes 30% cut of that, Cathie Wood said that's a social responsibility on our part to solve that issue. And I totally agree with it. And Bitcoin has no boundaries, right? As long as you have a connection to the internet, you can send it anywhere in the world. And unfortunately, right, the governments are making a lot of money from today's monetary policy. At the end of the conference, they asked what's the hope for Bitcoin, and Jack Dorsey said to have world peace. And that's actually one of the purpose of Bitcoin, because a lot of wars happen because of money and currency, and not a lot of people know about that. But Bitcoin itself empowers people to hold on to their currency, and no one can take it away from them. So it's more of a defense mechanism versus the USD, which is an offense mechanism, meaning there's going to be a lot of war, a lot of social issues, and etc. But yeah, I really highly recommend you to watch that conference. I watched it twice already, and I kind of soaked in all the key points. And in this article, it kind of gave 3 big takeaways. SpaceX owns Bitcoin, right? I already talked about that. Bitcoin's energy usage, I kind of already talked about that as well. But lastly, should Twitter let advertisers pay with crypto? But when Elon Musk asked Jack Dorsey about it, he kind of took a second before answering. But I understand why he's asking him that, right? Because if Tesla can accept Bitcoin, why can't Twitter do it? What's kind of stopping them, right? But Jack Dorsey did reiterate why, and they're more focused on economic incentives instead of, relying on advertisers. But I mean, come on, just accept it. I want Twitter to accept Bitcoin. Like, that would be amazing. And obviously, not my decision, but it is what it is. But going into this tweet, right? In the past, a lot of people doubted the internet. I'm kind of seeing the same thing with Bitcoin. And right now, we're still super early in Bitcoin. And layer 2 is kind of hard to scale right now, but it is working in some countries. But don't feel the FOMO when, mass adoption starts happening. Because if you think about it, the internet has a base layer 2, which is HTTPS. And people build on top of it. And it's just like Bitcoin, right? Because, there's layer 1, which is the first principle and rules that people have to follow. And then other than that, people can build on top of it. But in the next article, I want to talk about Tether, because apparently Tether's general counsel, right, says that the audit is months away, not years away. We'll finally see if Tether is actually backed by USD or some sort of asset like gold, because one of their main competitors, which is Circle, which is behind USDC, released more data on their backings on their assets. Biggest one right now, which is Tether, did not even have an audit, and to currently have no proof that each Tether is backed by something. And just to put a note here, the USD is backed by the government, meaning you're gonna have to trust the government, because if you think about it, USD is not really backed by anything. It's backed by belief, and that people believe is worth something. But at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper. You can't really go to the central bank and convert it to gold. And this is kind of the dialogue that happened. But the thing is, if Tether doesn't pass the audit test, I think that's when the dump hammer comes in, because everyone's waiting for Tether to resolve this issue. But the good news is that if Tether really has a backing on all their Tether coins, then that's gonna be a huge pump for Bitcoin. But right now, the sentiment is that Tether has no backings, and a lot of people did their own research and their due diligence, and it's currently leaning to the bad news. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited, and I'm ready to buy more Bitcoin if it does dump. Now in the next article, it seems like Uber is buying a transportation logistic company called Transplace for $2.25 billion. And this is gonna help their truck division and help with the logistics within Uber. And if we look at Uber stock, kind of flat, surprisingly. Usually when an acquisition happens, it would kind of dump, but I guess it did for a bit. And in terms of a business strategy standpoint, I think it's a little bit weird, because I feel like they should focus on their main revenue stream, right? Which is the Uber app. And they also doubled down on Uber Eats, right? But that's just my quick opinion, because last year they did sell their flying flying taxi segment, and they also sold their self-driving unit. And this is probably the reason why I don't like Uber stock, because self-driving is most likely the future, and they already know that robo-taxi is coming from Tesla. I was kind of mind-boggled on why this happened. And to be transparent, right, I'm not really a fan of Uber stock. Like, this is a company that's been bleeding, billions of dollars, and they're still not able to generate a profit. And if we look at their EBITDA, right, that's seriously very concerning. This company has about $7.5 billion in debt, and they have around the same amount of cash as $7 billion, and obviously no cash flows at all. And if we look at their revenues, right, they aren't growing as fast as other unicorns. And obviously, right, in 2020, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because of the pandemic. But right now, they're trading kind of stagnant, and I feel like in their next earnings call, right, I feel like they're gonna beat expectations. And their next earnings call is on August 4th. And the reason why is because the US did open up. And I feel like a lot of people are now using Uber. I feel like Uber is a good situational swing, but overall, not a long-term hold for me, unfortunately. At a $90 billion market cap, I'd rather own Airbnb or even Square. And that's my take on it. That wraps up for this video. If you're interested in buying crypto, please head into my referral links in the description box down below, and we can both get a small cash bonus once you sign up and make some trades. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button down below, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see my videos every single week. That's pretty much it, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.